Let's move into a game that I wish I didn't watch because I don't want to sound bad here. And if you're a Raiders fan or a Dragons fan listening, you're not going to get a lot of positive out of me from this episode. Now, first things first, everyone's going to say what a great defensive display in the first half. What an appalling attacking display. Everything that seemed to get me in line.
Great defense.
Well, it's easy to have great defense when a team's dropping the ball every 3 tackles. Like, it's easy to have great defense.
You're scaring them to drop the ball. You're scaring them. It was great to see. I was like, yes.
Well, let's talk about the big stat on the board. Now, you can look at the errors. You can look at the completion rate. That's not what we need to really look at here. Well, we need to look at this conversion. Zach Lomax. Surely you've got a better kicker than Zach Lomax in this current time. Someone to put their hand up.
You do. It's easy. You put the bloke Ben Hunt in. I think he can kick the ball a bit better than 0 from 3. Surely he can put one over the black dot for him, because that's really what separates these two teams. Bar the completion rates and errors is kicking from the boot, and you need a player within your squad to go up in 6s instead of going up in 4s, because games like these can hurt you, man. 3 guys apiece. Imagine if they did get 3 from 3, and then we'd be going to go on point, and it'd be more exciting again. So you need to look for a player who can start kicking, and maybe that's the new coach that comes in. Maybe he brings in a player that he knows who can kick really well. Maybe they find from within their squad a player who can do that. But Zach Lomax, either work on your game or give it up.
Well, I will bring up, we did have, and we both do know, Borgie. He decided to go to Facebook after this game. He's a Dragons fan, and his comment was, Lomax's manager deserves an absolute pay rise. How he's managed to lock in a $700,000 plus a year beats me. Need to spend the rest of the season in reserve grade. So I know there's a bit of, pissed off in that, a bit of frustration in that with the kick-in, but is he wrong in saying that? Like, surely Lomax
I don't think he deserves to play reserve grade for the rest of the year, because apart from his boot, he's been okay in a standard of the standards of the Dragon. He's been okay. So just get him off kicking duties, and I think he'd be right. 700,000, bit of a pay grade. They'll get him. Everybody is out there to try and earn every crumb that they can get. So good on him.
Yeah, well, I mean, good on him. He's got the pay contract, and you know what? Take the kicking off him. I don't think Lomax is going to care, because that's less pressure on him. But while you are having that cough attack, we will talk about Nick Kotrick. He has done a hamstring injury. He is obviously off to get scans, and obviously, I guess, not the instant karma, but he did hurt himself doing a professional foul that was stopping the Dragons from scoring a try. So I'm not saying instant karma. We do hope he's okay, but it is looking like he will cop a few weeks on the sideline with that injury. But the Dally M points, 6 points to Hudson Young, 2 points for Sloan, who I think had his best game of the season so far, 2 points for Moga, 1 point for Sebastian Chris, and 1 point for Matthew Tomoka. Now, the Dragons board, the Illawarra Dragons, their 2 boards will have a board meeting tomorrow, Baxter. They're saying that it's got nothing to do with Anthony Griffin, if he's going to keep his job at this stage. But obviously, it's going to be on the agenda. They're saying he's not going to get fired. Do you think there's any chance that he is gone after tomorrow? Do you think it's a see out the season, let's get this next coaching appointment right, and let's get the person we want?
It's only two. It's going to play out one of 2 ways. Either they're going to sack him, and they're going to bring in a caretaker, which I don't think they can afford to, and let the caretaker see out the end of the season, and then make the right appointment of the new head coach later on in the year, and let maybe him take over towards the end. But not too sure. Or option B, to let Anthony Griffin ride it out and save some money on a caretaker, and just work in the backfield. Look, you either got to tell him. You just come out and tell him that he's not the head coach for next season. If that is the case, like, you just, even if this meeting wasn't about him, you take away from it. You call him up after the meeting's up, and you just go, look, we're moving in this direction, and that is the direction without you. You're not fired at this time, but you will not longer have a job at the end of the season going forward. And just be amicable about it. And I reckon...
Do you reckon they haven't told him that because no one's come forward that wants the job?
I think so. I think right now...
Like, look, they went after Billy Slater. It was less than an hour. Billy Slater came out and said, nah, I'm not interested.
Oh, they didn't really go after him. They just sort of put out to his management and him and said, look, would you be interested in coaching the Dragons? And it was, no, thanks, but no thanks. But, look, they went out left field and they really went after someone. Good on them for doing it. Well, they could have played it safe and hired one from within, but I think they really let go of a real possible candidate to take this club forward in Shane Flanagan. They did have him there as the assistant coach whilst he was serving his suspension from that many years ago with the computer thing, whilst being suspended on drug allegations and all that. But to me, I don't think you need to hire a dragon to coach the Dragons. I think you need to just go out there and sign elsewhere. Maybe a Des Hasler, someone that just knows what a winning premiership squad looks like. And there's not many going around out there that are on the market. I don't think Shane would leave now with the Seagulls. I don't think he would leave there with the way they're going under Siebes. Maybe Des, he's the only one. That's if he wants the coach. Again, there's not really many out there that you sort of give it to. But do you give it to a rookie coach? Like, do you give it to, these Dean Young or Ben
Jason
Hornsey?
Miles is the name that's getting thrown around.
I think he, if he gets offered, I think he snubs the Dragons, and he might snub the Storm. With Bellied mate reported being this his last year. I think he stays at the Roosters and takes over when Trent leaves, whenever that happens, because Trent can't coach forever. Not saying that his job's under threat or anything, but look, the Dragons, they need to get a person of recruitment in there because they've got no one in there at the moment. Right now, if you were to...
I'll go one step further. Trent's actually contracted to 2028. So are you waiting your time for Jason Riles until the 2029 season?
Well, I guess so. Why not?
That's 6 years where you could get a head coach job somewhere else.
But Trent could turn around tomorrow and go, you know what? I've had enough of coaching.
But he only just signed it. So from all accounts, he only just signed that 4-year extension.
Yeah, but anything's possible, end of the year, fucking a big something fucking flashes before your eyes and you go, fucking coaching's not the be all and end all. You don't know. I don't know either, but I don't think Rolsey takes up either coach. I think he stays at the Roosters. Hopefully the Dragons get this coaching role right, and they can move forward as a united front, as laughable as it sounds, into the 2024 season.
Okay, and obviously I do agree with you. I think there is a big world where Jason Riles does stay on and they maybe do go after a Flanagan with his ban up. Who knows? But I just, like you said, I think they need to be straight open with the current coach and go, hey, mate, listen, start looking elsewhere. So I don't know if they will, but let's talk about the big talking point. It's got nothing to do with this game. It's got a lot to do with the Canberra Raiders, and it's Jack Whiten announcing his retirement from representative football. Now, two things came to my mind here. One, he's just had enough of copping the blame when the Blues don't win a series. And the second thing that came to my mind was, is this Jack Whiten trying to get a deal somewhere else? He's trying to say to any potential club that comes in, I will now be available from you from round 1 to round 27. I won't have international football. I won't have representative football. Sign me, give me the $1 million. I'll be there for 27 rounds.
Well, or plan C, is this a clause, in the Canberra contract to stay on. To sort of, give us all your attention to the Canberra Raiders. I think it's a bit of option B and C about teams out there. From all reports that I hear, Jack still hasn't made up his mind. There's no really offers or even hints of interest from outside the Raiders.
Dolphins are coming quite hard. Is what I'm hearing.
I haven't heard not a formal offer, but I haven't heard anybody sort of pick up the phone and go, Jack, would you be interested in blank club? I haven't heard any.
It's Wayne Bennett, mate. He's old. He's got to wait for the pigeon to deliver the note. It's not his phone anymore. He's got to send the pigeon.
Mate. You got to realize it's not his pigeon. It's his cousin Dwayne. His cousin Dwayne, mate. He'll get on the phone. I just seen his latest.
Titans. That's what you need. Sinking the Titanic Titans.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, he's good there. But look, I haven't heard anybody go to him and say, "Would you be interested in blank club?" Nor have I heard the Raiders say, "Please stay after this contract offer." Look, I think it's more just Jack's hands. Will we see an announcement before round 10? Just sit back and eat the popcorn, really.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I don't think we see a decision made until the end of the season. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Jack. But Baxter, I'll throw it to you.